When you were younger, did you ever feel like your life should have been more like a fairy tale and for some reason it just didn't turn out that way? Well, listen in today's episode because I'm going to help you tell a new story about your life. Welcome to Life Mastery for Women. I'm your host, Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Join me here 3 times a week for empowering conversations, powerful tools, and techniques to help you experience more joy, healing, and deeper connections in your life. Get ready, ladies. It's time to get that nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. Life is hard, but your personal growth doesn't have to be. Hey ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I'm finding you telling a great story about your life. If you're not telling a great story about your life, then it is my intention that in today's episode I give you just one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. So today I want to ask you to tell me the story about your life. Tell me your health story. Tell me your relationship story. Tell me your wealth story. Tell me your spiritual story. And then just before you tell me the story, ask yourself, am I going to tell a positive story or a negative one? Because this is really important. If you've listened to my episode number 3, Stop Throwing Dog Poop, it is about you casting your energy out in front of you so you can experience what you want to experience versus, in my example and my analogy in number 3, is instead of experiencing dog poop on the sidewalk of life, is that you experience this magical existence. Because using our words and using our thoughts create an existence. And are you getting tired of hearing the same story? So when someone asks you how you're doing, or how's your health, or how's your relationship, or how are your kids, and you find yourself not sharing positive, joyful experiences, then let's change that. I want to invite you to open your thinking a little bit more about how energy works with our words. I have done several episodes about using our words and pulling positive words into our existence when we describe our life versus using all the negative ones. Because when we use the negative ones, we are perpetuating what we've already experienced. We are perpetuating the past. And as we are speaking these negative words and these negative stories, we are continuing to speak that part of our life into existence. And so I want to help you to understand, and I want to invite you to open up just a little bit and give yourself permission to explore the unknown. Today, I want to talk about telling a new story. When we talk about our lives, we end up sharing the negative. Now, that is kind of a cultural thing, is using negativity to express ourselves, to connect with others. I did a podcast a few episodes ago now, is about complaining to connect. And, it's like you see the office staff gathering around the water cooler and they complain about the job, the money, the traffic, the politics, the people, who's upstairs, the weather. And they use that kind of a platform to connect with others, because we all have been there where we've been in a bad mood, experiencing some dread in our life, and then someone comes in all happy and we want to take them up to the penthouse and throw them out the closest window. So we experience that. Now, the reason that we would want to throw them out the window is because of the gap between where your energy is and where their energy is just too great. It is too far apart. And so it is a discord to us. Have you ever noticed that if you have kind of this roller coaster of moods like I do, that some songs are so amazing and I just love them and they're so upbeat and they're so fantastic, and then sometimes that same exact song is like screeching in my ears? It's only because my mood is so different. So when my mood is great, then I like these high energy vibe music, these high energy songs. And when my mood is not so great, then I am matching. So that is how we understand, and we know, if you pay attention, you will know what your vibration is, because what you are attracting. So when I ask you to tell me your story about your current health, what do you start complaining about? And notice I said, what do you complain about? Because that is most of the time. When you ask somebody how they're doing, how's your doctor's appointment? How's your skin condition? Hey, when was the last time you were, you said you had a doctor's appointment or you had a procedure? How'd that go? And most of the time, what we are hearing are the bad things. So when we start telling a new story, there's a little bit of a process. For one, I want you to start shifting the words that you're using from the negative to the positive. When someone asks you, what's going on today, or how are you doing today, or how's your day, is point out the positive things. Start training your brain to start looking for things that are amazing. When I did a gratitude episode a while ago, it really hit home. A lot of people listened to it. I got a lot of feedback from that episode, and it really starts shifting your energy and starts training your brain to look for those amazing things that are going on in your life. Even if you don't have any money, even if you don't have any friends, you don't have a job, you don't have a home, there is still something amazing in your life. And I'm going to invite you and challenge you even to continue to start looking for that amazing thing. Start shifting your energy to the things that you're grateful for. When we start shifting our energy to the things that we're grateful for, we start raising our own vibration. Then we are training the mind to start looking for those things. Because if I start training my mind to look for the things that are annoying to me, or the things that piss me off, or the things that are wrong with the world, I will find them and I will attract them to me. So once we start shifting, this is the fastest way to start shifting your world. Start saying thank you. Start saying, you know what I'm grateful for. Start saying things like, you know what I really appreciate, because you're triggering the mind to start looking for those things instead. Now, that's step one. And if you haven't done that yet, then I encourage you to start doing that. I encourage you to go throughout the day looking for the great things that are going on. It's going to take a little bit if you're a high complainer. It's going to take a little bit, but I guarantee you within a very short amount of time, very few days, you will start noticing you're feeling better. You start noticing the things that are amazing in your life, and you start noticing things start working out. So I'm going to encourage you to do that. The next is to get conscious, to become aware of the story you tell. So if you have your journal out already, which I always encourage you to do, is to get your journal before you listen to an episode, just to get that one nugget, right? That's my intention, is to give you one nugget of inspiration. And so when you become conscious, you get your journal out and you say, okay, what is my story? If someone were to say, hey, tell me about your health, they're not a doctor. They just want to have a conversation with you. What's the first thing that you reach for? What are you going to tell them? Is it a complaint, or is it something amazing? Now, I also will tell you, in our society, I agree with those complainers and those with victim mentalities, is that we get a lot of attention with our negativity. We get a lot of attention. You go to the doctor, you go to the therapist, you go to a chiropractor, and they want to know what's wrong. Notice that when you make a noise, they go, what's wrong, honey? I don't want to know what's wrong. I want to know what's right. So I stopped asking what's wrong. Someone's got a look on their face like, what's going on today? What's with your day? Tell me something good. I tell my coaching clients that when I meet with them one-on-one. Tell me something good. Tell me something good. Tell me something great that's going on in your life right now. And we sit down and have dinner with the boys. Tell me good news from today's day at school. Tell me the best thing that happened today. And it's starting to train them to look for great things. And then when they start to complain, I'm like, okay, wait, stop. Was there anything great? Tell me something great. Was it great that the weather was so amazing? And yeah, maybe you didn't win the lottery today, and you didn't get the front row seat that you wanted, and you didn't get the girl to ask you, or you didn't, the girl said no that you asked to the dance. But was the weather beautiful? Did somebody hold the door open for you? Did you have a good lunch today? Did you have a good amount of energy? Did your body work as it was supposed to? Right? So always looking for something great. So getting conscious, become aware of the story you tell, and do the same thing for spirituality, health, wealth, and relationships. And just think, am I about to tell a good story or a bad story? And if I tell that bad story, is this the thing that I want to perpetuate? And you're like, but yeah, Jen, but listen, we have to get some sort of like problem solving. I'm like, yes, we do. However, you have to know what solution you're looking for. The first thing you have to do is raise your vibration. Otherwise, you're perpetuating the problem. By standing around the water cooler and complaining about your problem, you're just perpetuating it. You are continuously throwing dog poop on the sidewalk of life and going, hey, where's this poop coming from? Who's throwing poop in my experience? And I go, you are. You just don't realize it. You can either continue to live by pulling something from the past and complaining about it and throwing it back out in your future experience, or you can start telling a new future reality, training your brain that this is what we're doing now. Ask anybody that has gone from poverty to riches, or from ill health to wonderful health, or crappy relationships to great relationships. It all started with the decision. It started with consciousness, and it started with changing the story. So becoming conscious, snap your fingers, become aware. What story am I telling? Ooh, that's a bad story. I don't want to ignite that story again. Okay. Then the next is to stop telling that story. Here was a really good analogy. Now, this isn't mine. I love my analogies. This one is not an original analogy for me. I couldn't even tell you where I actually got it from, but let's pretend you are taking your knuckle and you are rubbing it on a brick wall. That's rough. And that's terrible, and it doesn't feel very good. But as soon as I stop, it feels better, doesn't it? If the rubbing of the knuckle is the actual complaining, it doesn't feel good. You keep going, you gather more momentum, you start throwing in some swear words, you start maybe standing up, you start swinging your arms around, your jaws gets tight, your shoulders get tight, your arms get tight, and you have all this energy all of a sudden. And it all started with one little tiny complaint that then spiraled into some big giant situation. Have you ever experienced that? So now that's you rubbing your knuckle on the wall. What if before you spiraled, before the complaint got too big, the ball got too big and was rolling down the hill out of control, is you stopped. So taking your knuckle away from the brick wall. Stop telling the story. A long time ago in 2000, I was in a training at the school I used to work at. And I remember sitting in the back row, and I was sitting on a chair that had like those rocker chairs. So it was like the continuous bar. Instead of 4 legs, it had like this continuous bar underneath. And I used to lean back, and I had my feet under the table, and I was kind of balancing, and my arms were out, and I'm listening to this trainer. And she's talking about how like our emotions and how sometimes they get away from us, and that happens. And it was a school training, right? So it happens with kids, and what we should do and how we should do it. And then she's kind of gearing it towards us. Anyway, I'm leaning back on the back of these, the back, what would be the 2 legs of this chair. And I've got my feet under the table, and I'm balancing, and I'm just like listening. I'm like, hey, look. I'm balancing on the back of these, on the back of the chair. And they're like, dude, we're paying attention, right? That's how I was in these trainings, though this trainer was amazing. And she goes, every time you have an emotional response to something, you have a choice with how you react. And I dropped to all 4 legs, and I'm looking around as if this truck just ran in front of me and dropped Twinkies in my lap. And I'm like, okay, wait, did everybody see that? Did everybody just hear what she just said? I have a choice? Wait. I thought that when this happened or that happened or this thing over here or that thing over there, when any of those things happened and I got angry, there was no choice. I had to get angry. That was the only choice I had. Or so I thought. I leaned forward and I got my notebook out and I took notes based on what she said. From that day forward, that changed my life. Now, did I ever get angry again? Of course I did. But it changed my life because it made me aware. It made me aware that I have indirect control of my emotions. Indirect, based on my words, my thoughts, and the story I tell. And then way later, 13 years later, fast forward to all the limiting beliefs and negative self-talk that came around. And I'm like, oh my God, these were 2 huge epiphanies. 2 huge epiphanies. So I'm telling you, you have a choice with how you respond to things. A couple episodes ago, I told a story about the belief about being stuck in traffic and how that affects you. And if you get really mad, no, you have to be mad when you're stuck in traffic. And I'm like, no, you actually don't. Because even though you're mad stuck in traffic, look around you, to all the cars around you. Does everyone look mad? Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe they're enjoying that song a little bit longer. Maybe they're enjoying the conversation with their daughter who's about to get married. Maybe they're enjoying their conversation with their spouse a little bit longer before the traffic starts moving again, before the light turns green. You don't have to get mad. It's such an interesting thing. I also told a story a little while ago about when Brandon got in trouble at school. And I'm like, I was getting mad. And, Amy and I are having this big giant conversation. And I'm, oh my God, thinking that. And why does he do that? And blah, blah, blah. And what should we do? And man, we're going to take his tablet away and we're going to make him go to bed early. And we're going through all this stuff. And I'm just like, wait, stop. Why am I getting mad? And I chased it. And that's a coach's term, to chase the reason why we do something. We chase it like, why do I have to get mad? And it got all the way down to because my mom got mad when we got in trouble. And it was lots of takeaways, took away the TV and the video games, and we couldn't go outside and I couldn't go play and I couldn't ride my bike, and which was worse than taking away video games, in my opinion. And then I decided, you know what? What if I were to approach that with something different? What if I were to approach that with compassion? Like, I wonder what's going on with Brandon. I wonder what made him so angry. Or for him, not he wasn't angry, I was angry. But I wonder what made him act like that. I wonder what made him choose that behavior. So the next step 3, this is after become conscious and after telling a new story, is to become curious. So in our state of curiosity, we now can move to a different energy state. Curiosity is like one of my favorite emotions, especially to go from a low vibrational state, a low vibrational emotional state, to a higher vibrational state, is to like do whatever you have to do to stop the complaining, clap your hands, snap your fingers, go look in the mirror, have somebody help you, say, hey, stop, something, to stop complaining, and then go, I'm curious. Now, it seems a little ridiculous even when I sit here and say it, but it works so magically well. Here's another way that it works really well. If you are kind of in the norm of a certain situation that like pisses you off. So let's say, you're going to drive through town. You're like, this traffic is just, I'm so annoyed by this drive, but I know I got to go and I got to go across town and I'm going to hit every single light. And you're just like, that's part of you telling the story, right? Is to go, stop. I wonder what traffic will be like today. And did you ever seen Bruce Almighty, where he's got God's powers and he like separates the traffic and is able to just literally drive right down the middle? That is what can happen. I've done it. I'd still do it. Curiosity is one of my favorite emotional states to just put myself in, because it gets me to stop feeling that negative emotion immediately and puts me into this neutral state. To me, that is the bridge that bridges the gap to negative emotions and positive emotions as quick as possible. Remember, I am all about simple yet powerful tools and techniques. Being curious is a very, very powerful state. So that's step 3. Okay. Stop telling the story, get conscious, and become aware of the story, and become curious. Now let's say, that's going to work for a while and that's going to feel really good. And it's going to start building this amount of confidence in you that the work that you're doing is amazing, because you got to keep going. Now, some of the things that I help my clients do is to release the old story, to let it go. It's in the past. It already happened. It's already manifest. It's already done. It's done. There's nothing you can do about it except tell a new story. The only way to change is to tell a new story. If you want things to change, you, my friend, must change. Now, you're like, wait, Jen, wait. I've been on this planet for a long time. How do they say that? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I go, yes, you can. Because if you want your life to change, if you want your life to get better, if you want a better relationship, if you want more money, if you want a great career, if you want to have this amazing, joyous life, you have to focus on you. You have to focus on your change, because an abundant person doesn't talk about lack and doesn't hoard their money. And a happy person doesn't complain. And a person that is rich in their relationship doesn't talk about the crappy things their partner does. They tell new stories every day, and they find those amazing things to think about, talk about, and to tell a story about. Amy and I have been together for like 12 years. And every day, every night, we are I love yous. There's a whole bunch of laughter. We are like two schoolgirls giggling all night long. And we have an amazing relationship. We make a great team. Now, it doesn't take two crappy people to come together to make one whole relationship. It takes two people who recognize the good in each other and state the good in each other to keep that relationship whole and focused. So we spend our days going, God, we make a great team. You know what I really like about you? Do you know what I really love about you? Do you know what's so amazing that you do? Because we point those things out. Those things stand out in our relationship. Okay? So telling a new story, being willing, be open to release the old story. You know what? I no longer am going to tell this story in my life. And here's my thought. What have you got to lose other than the old baggage that you've been carrying around for probably 100 years? What have you got to lose? Get rid of it. Tell a new story. All right. The next, and this is the most fun, is in that meditative state. And hopefully all of you have at least begun your meditative practice, because this is where the magic happens. This is where the magic happens. My life is full of magic, and I want yours to be too. This is where the magic happens. Getting into that meditative state, which is getting out of the beta brainwave where all the resistance is. The one that's arguing with me right now going, yeah, Jen, oh, okay, I'll just tell a new story. Yep, whatever you say. Where's Netflix? What are we watching tonight? Right? Getting into that meditative state is just getting out of that resistance brainwave that we call beta, the high resistance brainwave state. You're going to get into a calming, relaxed position that you can tell a new story, and the subconscious mind is going to go, okay, yeah, that sounds good. You make $10,000 a month. I think that's a great idea. Versus the beta brainwave going, are you joking? You're not smart enough to make $10,000 a month. What the hell do you think you're going to do to make 10 grand? You're kidding me, right? What are people going to say about you? Right? We want to get into that theta, deep alpha or theta brainwave state, which is that really relaxed state, but you're still sort of aware of what's going on around you. But you can conjure new emotional states from here. So here's what you do. Whatever your story is, find out what you want the new story to be. Figure that out. Get clear. Ask yourself, if I wasn't telling this story, what story would I tell? Okay? And use those big words. I would feel amazing in my career. I would feel important. I would have recognition. I would have power. I would have freedom. It would be easy. I would make so much money. I would have this abundance dripping from my wallet. Okay? So what is the new story? Then when you go into that meditative state, you're going to create a visual of you experiencing the new story. And you're going to do it so much that you're going to feel it in your body as if it's complete. As if we hit the magic wand and said, okay, here you go. Here's the money. Here's the relationship. Here's the job. Here's the weight loss. Here's the knee replacement. Here's the new haircut. Here's the strength, whatever it is you want. And now you're there in your visual, experiencing it with all your senses as best as you can, with movement, with other people, with action, with color, with so much vividness that you can feel it in your body. That's the magic, my friends. That is the key. That is the magic. And you do that until you have felt the emotional state of having the thing and its completeness. Okay? Then you keep doing it. You keep installing it. And pretty soon you're going to see new words, new thoughts, new actions in your life. That is how you begin to change. That's how you begin to change. And you keep doing that with your intention and your attention. You keep doing that. You set the intention. I'm going to be a person who has abundance. I'm going to be a person who has a thin, fit body. I'm going to be a person that's in an amazing, supportive, healthy, passionate, intimate relationship. I'm going to be a person who has a top-notch career that they're in love with, and they make an amazing amount of money. It is about you, and you have the ability to change you, because it is only your beliefs, the thoughts that you keep thinking that are holding you back. And you can change your beliefs any time you decide. So getting out your journal, what is the thing that you want to work on? What is the one thing that you want to change? And I want you to ponder that. What's at the base of that? Like I want a new relationship. Okay, what's at the base of that relationship? I want it to be connected. I want it to be fun. I want it to be intimate. I want it to be passionate. Okay? Then I want you to ponder, like meditate. What would that look like? If I had a relationship that was intimate, passionate, energized, fun, exciting, what would it look like? What would I do with this partner? Where would we go? What kind of activities would we do together? How much fun would we have? How much sex would we have? Right? I want you to think of all of the aspects of the relationship. And while you're thinking of all of the aspects of the relationship, you are beginning to form new thoughts and new images. This, my friend, is you throwing out new experiences out onto the sidewalk of life instead of dog poop. So get out your journals, get going. This is one of my favorite experiences. This is one of my favorite experiences. This is one of my favorite activities. This is something I 100% love to work with my clients with. If this is something that you want some help with and you want some support in this, because this is what's going to change your life. I promise you. I promise you. No amount of manipulating the external environment is going to change your life, and certainly not for very long. So I promise you, this is going to work. I know tools and techniques like crazy. I've been studying this for we're coming up to 25 years now. So if you're interested, trying to figure out either some events that I have coming up that you can be a part of, where we're going to tell new stories, or you want to work directly with me, I am working on my group coaching program, probably the time you're listening to this. Because this is Thursday. If you're listening to this Thursday, May 11th, I am currently in a business retreat with one of my favorite people to listen to on her YouTube channel, Michelle Villalobos, and she is going to be helping Amy and I build our business. We might be changing some things. We might be bringing things back that we had. We might be revamping. I shouldn't say might. We're going to be revamping the business. So if this is something you want to be a part of, if you want to be at the ground level of a new program to start enhancing your own life and taking the steering wheel back so you can start deciding what direction your life goes, please reach out. I have a Lady Rising group and a Chakras for Beginners group on Facebook. You can send a message. You can send me an email at themeditationroomtc@gmail.com. And hey, let's just set up a time to have a conversation. I'd love to be able to see how I can support you. Thanks for listening. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would love for you to like, subscribe, and leave a comment as to how this has inspired you. If you're interested in hearing about our upcoming events or working directly with me in my group coaching program to join a community of women and connect, heal, and create a life that is full of joy, inspiration, and empowerment, then reach out to me via Facebook in either of my two groups, Lady Rising or Chakras for Beginners. There, you can create a post or you can send me a direct message. Or you can email me at themeditationroomtc@gmail.com. Let's talk and see how I can best support you. In the meantime, keep going, growing, and transforming to keep looking for those nuggets of inspiration.